Introduction to C. Hi friends, welcome to my universe. Today in this presentation, I will introduce you to C language. In the very beginning of the course, you might have many problems like how to start with C, what is header files, what is main, why we write .h, what is the difference between main and int main, why we write return, etc. etc. I think that for beginners it is not the right time to think for all this, as when we were a child we were just remembering the things which were taught to us, like 26 alphabets in English, the earth is round, and many more things. So I would recommend that first you remember the processes which I will explain here and just follow it. When you will become quite comfortable with the programming, then at right place everything will be introduced to you. Before starting, just remember some points which are very basic. First of all, we start to code any program in C using this format. See, here we have written #include stdio.h. After that, write #include standard library.h. Then int main. Within int main, write printf. Then hello world \n. This \n is not necessary, it just says the compiler to go to the next line. Now terminate printf statement by putting a semicolon at the end. Then in the next line write return 0. Also terminate this statement by putting a semicolon in the end. Then that's all. If you are finding things difficult here, don't bother, these all things will be clear later. Now comes header files. What are header files? Header files are just like folders. In folders we keep images, videos, songs, etc. Just like header files like studio.h, conio.h, math.h, etc. keeps list of the definitions and declarations. Thus, when we give command printf, the compiler will know what to do by seeing the definition in the sto.h file. We can assume header files are just like books which are placed in C library. As our books are placed in our college library, likewise the header files are placed in C library, and each of the header files like stdio.h, conio.h, math.h, etc. keeps the definitions and declaration of the particular subject. As in our real life we see math book contains the formula of mathematics, not of Sanskrit. Likewise, header file like math.h defined in C library keeps the definition of square root and many other function. Likewise, standard input output header file, that is stdio.h, keeps the definition of the printf command, scanf command. This means whenever a compiler while executing the program will introduce the printf command, it will search its definition in the header file which is declared in the starting, and according to its definition it will produce the result, as printf will print the statement written in it on the screen. Scanf will read the data through keyboard, that is scanf command will take input. If we will not include the header files, then while executing the program, whenever the compiler will find the printf statements, it will not know what to do with it and it will produce a error. Now I think that header files are clear to you. Now let's move on to another topic. #include stdio.h. Don't write studio. Here #include tells the compiler to include the header file stdio.h. This is a preprocessor command. It allows the compiler to look in the library of C and find the header files stdio.h and read its contents. Int main. Program execution begins here. Printf. Print the statement written in it on the screen. Scanf take the input from the user through the keyboard. Semicolon used to terminate a statement, which means it tells the compiler that one statement is complete now. Curly braces, this tells the compiler the range of the function, which means that any function like main will execute till the codes are within this bracket. I will make a new video on general beginners questions like what is the difference between main and void main, why we use return statement. For now, just remember that we have to start as int main and always end with return 0. First line I have written that program execution begins here in int main. So what does this actually mean? It means that the compiler will work on the code which is written within the main function. Like main, we can define and declare many functions in the program, but those all functions will be ignored. The execution of only the main function will be done. When we call that function, then only that function will be executed, but that will be called by the virtue of main function, not by itself. That is, the control of all the function defined in the program is in the hand of the main function. Points to ponder. C language was developed by Dennis Ritchie at & T Bell Laboratories in 1972. C language is case sensitive, which means capital letter say capital F is different from small letter say small f. C is a procedure oriented programming. I will make a separate video on difference between procedure and object oriented programming. That's all for this presentation. See you in the next presentation.